Hey guys, Jeff here at MACkite.
And Ryan.
And we're excited about a new product that we brought in the shop. Us northern boys can't go in the water without wetsuits most of the year.
Yep.
And no matter, we have cold water here in Michigan. I know a lot of your customers live in different spots where you might wear wetsuits, but we're going to focus on a wetsuit that's new to the market. Actually, it's been out for a couple of years, I believe, but new to us, the Soöruz. And what is nice about the Soöruz wetsuit is, for those of you that have been around for a while, known about different ways that wetsuits are made, this is eco-friendly. So they source, it's called Oysterprene. You heard that correctly, Oysterprene. Yep. What do you think that is? Oyster shells, actually. They use crushed oyster shells as part of their the construction material they use, which makes it about 63% biosourced. You can look that up, what that means. But it's eco-friendly. It's a material. Oyster shells are something that is a natural product that you can have a lot of. And so they use that in their construction. That also means that it is good for the environment, meaning it doesn't give off any oils or things that can be harmful to the waterways. So that's kind of a bonus when we think of when we're looking at carrying these, and for those of you that think about the environment. Another thing about this suit, as we get into the build quality, because you know, a lot of neoprene, you think the thicknesses, right? Different thicknesses keep you different warm, and neoprene all looks about the same. If you look at this suit, it doesn't look much different than any other kind of wetsuits that we've had in the shop, or that maybe you've worn as a customer. But a couple things that I want to point out to you in the construction with this is they use all water-based glue. So again, they keep, you know, the environment and those kind of things being eco-friendly and intact, which I think is kind of important. And so that's something this suit does. I know Patagonia came out with a suit like that, and some other brands are working on those kind of things. So good on Soöruz to do that. So those are a couple things that make it eco-friendly. This suit in particular, like many warm suits, this suit that we're kind of highlighting is the 654, which is their warmest wetsuit. Mm-hmm. One that I've had a chance to wear. It has the glued stitching, which you can see right around here, and it's blind stitching, glued stitching, so you're not going to get water absorbent into the suit as well. And they have their own proprietary windproof material called the black diamond windproof material, which keeps the wind from penetrating the material. It is only on the back of the suit. Might have been a good idea to also put it on the front for us wind enthusiasts, because this is also a good surf suit. But that kind of goes over a little bit of the materials it's made of, some of the stitching, the glued stitching, and in addition, when we look at the sleeves and the ankles, they do come with this little, they have kind of this glued stitching, they have a glued strip on there that keeps it kind of snug to your ankles, which I have found winging. I've used this for winging. It doesn't ride up, it stays pretty snug. In addition to on the cuff here, it gives just kind of like a little elastic hold, not too tight, but enough where it keeps it in place, and it doesn't allow a lot of water in. Now, I've worn this suit with mittens over the top, and I usually put my boots on the inside and this on the outside of the boot, in case you get any water to flush in. But I have found that these little elastics keep it nice and tight. So overall, it's rocked out in black. It has this front zipper, the front zip in front, which is what you're going to see on any traditional warm wetsuit. The front zip is warmer. You get less flushing. Things are tighter. What I really like about this suit is it's got this big old school zipper. Yeah. Real easy to grab when you're in conditions where it's real cold out. Oftentimes I do get dressed inside the car or van or my home and then drive in really cold days. But this makes it real easy to close it. It snaps over, and then you have this button that you snap down that keeps it nice and tight. Like any other cold weather wetsuit, you have your ways to make it tighter around the head, so you make sure no water gets flushed in there, and around the shoulders.
Going back to the zipper there, that big zipper is nice and robust too. That's the last thing you want to have fail on your wetsuit, is the zipper. You go out in the cold weather, zipper breaks, not a good thing. So they did a good job stepping it up here, putting a nice robust zipper in there.
And it also has this bungee here right around the neck, so that keeps any water from coming in the suit. So you can do that. And one other thing before we get into our impressions on riding it, because I know both of us have ridden with this on, underneath the armpits, they have this extra stretchy material that they use that makes it doesn't feel like you're wearing 6 millimeters of wetsuit.
Yeah.
You have full movability. So I think that's a good way to segue into that.
Going on top of that, behind the knees, a little bit thinner material right here behind the knees. I know I've been wearing my 5 mil for quite a while now, and that's an even larger portion of thin material right behind the knees. So super easy to bend your knees. You don't have that extra, all that 6 mil or 5 mil bunching up right behind your knees with that.
So 2 important areas. Your knees and bending, you don't feel like you're constricted as much as I've had in other large suits. So when you do get on a wetsuit with a lot of neoprene that's like 5 and up or 4 and up, you can start to feel like you're already doing a workout and you feel like you got like bands on already. But this suit, I think, excels in that just by having that extra stretchy, look at that, underneath the pit. And as you said, behind the knee, you have that extra stretch so that you can bend on that. Let's take a look at the inside of the suit, and then we'll jump right into the performance. The inside does have this full insulation, and I think something that I have noticed that where this suit kind of, I would say, puts themselves pretty high in the wetsuits is how quickly this material dries, and it doesn't soak up much water.
Or it doesn't get wet.
Yeah, it doesn't soak up water.
Anytime I've come in, it's been almost completely dry. It's an hour of on the foil drive, in the water a lot. Like the rest of the suit will be wet like you would expect from neoprene, but then you go down and you feel this, and it's like just barely a little bit damp. It's really, really incredible.
I've noticed when I've dried it out in my basement after a session, I just don't have a lot of water dripping off the suit. So this doesn't soak in a lot of water. And you'll notice in the suit, obviously in the hood, it's got the insulation, which is a nice bonus. And then all through the chest and back, and look at that. All the way down the legs, front and back of the suit, it's got that insulation. So that's where, again, too, you're seeing the glued and the covered stitching on the suit. So they've done a nice job covering all the bases with that, for sure.
And this material, I think, is really the secret sauce that makes this suit so warm. Right, that's one thing that you and I have both said since we started wearing this is one of the warmest suits we have ever worn. And I think the key there is how dry you stay inside of it. Like I've flushed in this suit and gotten water to go into this suit, and you can feel the water roll through. Most suits, flushes, gets cold, you can feel that water on you. This, you can actually feel it rolling out the bottom of the suit because it just keeps on traveling.
Again, I think that's where it doesn't absorb that water, which is a good quality. Another thing I do also like about this suit is it's got really nice padding in the front side of the knees, especially when you're trying to get up on the board. So if I would think for surfing or for, in our instance, winging, that would be very nice as well with that. Yes, this is probably one of the warmest suits I have ridden in. I've been riding the 654, and I've been down to, our water temps now are 48. We're going to be dropping 10 degrees cooler than that. So it'll be good to get on this suit even as we get in the low 40s, low 30-degree water. Air temperatures, I've been down to about 37. So the water temp was about 50 when I did the 37-degree day. So I've been down around 80. When you add the water temp and the air temp, that's where I got the 80. If you got 50-degree air, 37-degree air and 48 or 50-degree water, you're getting closer on that 80. And that's usually when you start thinking about wanting a really warm suit, when you're below that 80, when you add the water and the air temp together. And ours is going to continue to drop, and I have full confidence that this is going to be plenty warm. I've actually been,
I'm gonna say, you've been sweating.
I hate to complain.
You've been too warm out there. I know it because I've been wearing the 5 mil, which in the 5 mil, I believe this material stops somewhere above the knee, and then goes up just as far. And I have been sweating in the 5 mil in the same condition. So I know you're You're getting a little toasty in the 6 mil right
it's
now.
really warm, but I'd rather be warm than cold on the water. So
Yeah.
I think of all the suits I've been in, they've done a wonderful job of that insulation everywhere. I also think for how much neoprene is on here, it feels very flexible. I don't feel fatigued. Would you agree?
Yeah, the first thing I noticed as soon as I put it on is the fit. The fit was great. It felt like a wetsuit should feel. Not too tight in any spot. Was able to move around really well in it. And I know you said the same thing. And as you guys can see, we're two different body shapes here. So that's saying a lot. If it fits two different body shapes very well, they did a good job of adding material where they need to, taking it away from where they don't need it.
Yeah, I would agree. And it doesn't feel confining in any one spot. Oftentimes with a wetsuit, you know, you can have certain spots where it feels a little tight and you kind of roll with it, but I feel this one kind of snugs you quite well. I wear a large. I am 6'2", about 175 pounds. What size you wear?
I wear a large, and I am 5'10", about 180 pounds.
So, and it fits both of us just fine. So I think that has to do with the stretchiness of the material. You know, it hugs you, but it doesn't squeeze you.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way of putting it. That also brings out a good point about getting it on and off. I feel it's a very easy suit to get on and off for how many millimeters this is.
Yep.
A 6'5" is gonna have a little difficulty snugging it in over the shoulders, but with the stretchiness of this material, it feels more like a 4 or a 3 meter suit getting in and out.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, which is unique.
Very noticeable there. I would say typically once I hit a 5 mil suit, I'm usually doing a little bit of the wetsuit dance in the parking lot, trying to get it off. Haven't had to do that in the 5 mil that I've been riding lately.
Pretty easy on, easy off. If I had one little something I got to test a little more, and that would be the around the neck, the closure that you have on the sides here. I did not tighten mine down the first few times, and I did go in the water and just sit in the water for a while, and I did feel some water creeping in and going in the suit. But since then, I've tightened it up. I do want to, you know, see how that goes down the road. But overall, I think it feels pretty nip tight when it comes to not letting water in. But as you said, when you do get some water in here, it doesn't seem to soak. It seems to kind of
roll through the suit.
Roll through the suit now.
Kind of wild.
Quite well. So these are suits that are new to us. Again, Soöruz. We're going to be carrying, having them up on our website here pretty soon for you to order. We're going to be carrying some in the shop. We'll also have some, if we don't have the exact sizes, we're also going to be drop shipping them from Soöruz, I believe. Yep. So it's a new wetsuit company, again, that I think sticks out as very warm. Also, it's eco-friendly for those that are thinking about that aspect of a wetsuit. And it's definitely good performer. I mean, you can easily move and get around, and it doesn't feel restricting.
For sure. Super comfortable, super warm wetsuit. Exactly what most people are looking for in their wetsuit.
Yeah, and not too bad to get on and off. So if you're interested in staying warm on the water as we get colder here coming into the winter months and into spring and fall, I believe the Soöruz will be your ticket to staying warm and enjoying the water. Give us a call, send us a chat or an email. Be happy to help you out with sizing. But again, sizing is pretty true to size. And this is, again, Jeff here at MACkite.
And Ryan.
Enjoy the stoke.